Oh no. Okay, so it's in there, I've jacked it up, jacked under pressure, so now I'm quenching it off, just gently flicking a bit of water on it just to take a bit of the heat out quickly though. It's amazing how much that expands and contracts with that much heat energy. It didn't even take me that long, imagine that, just popped it off. Okay, and then what I used was a wet cloth to take the last of the heat out. What I've done, I've wanted to completely quench it down, but I had the jack underneath it, holding it on. Because I have to say, it seems like unbelievable to me that that actually works. I swear to you, there was no glue in there when I took that apart. There's a bit of sealer at the bottom, and that was it. There we go. That was a long, boring video, wasn't it? There. There you are, guys. That's what you got to make to get those buggers back together again. So hopefully that isn't going to piss out. Oh yeah, inside of it I put water. I forgot to say, inside of here I put some water in it because obviously the water boiling will take away heat energy and it will stop the O-ring at the bottom that we saw in the earlier video from getting too badly annihilated by the heat. So hopefully the whole thing will stay oil tight. So there we go, we'll find out. The next video is about the stanchions, and what I've decided to do is because in the end of the stanchion, you can see it on that one quite well. I'll get the other one because the other one hasn't got the dust seal on a minute. In the end of, not stanchion, sorry, in the end of the leg tube. Right, I've got another set of Marzocchi Fox on a different bike that I've rebuilt, and that ring there is flat and it doesn't have a screwdriver recess. So I'm struggling to get that out, and because I don't want to damage the forks getting it out, and because I don't have a seal driver the right size to replace that seal, and because I need to replace the bottom sliders as well, I'm going to take it down to my bike shop and let them do it. So I've done my bit now as far as that goes, and I'll take it down to him, and when I get it back he will have done that for me. So I mean, there's 1,000 videos on YouTube of how to do that, and it's pretty straightforward. But that ring there, I know from my other Marzocchis, are absolute bugger to get out. But the other set I've got are quite ropey, so I wasn't that bothered about hoiking them out with a screwdriver. Whereas these, because I want them from my chopper, I don't want to go scuffing them up, especially after spending the money and the time to get the other legs re-chromed, get the the stanchions re-chromed. So the next video is going to be these buggers coming back fully rebuilt. So there we go, 1996 Pegaso. Well, they're getting done down the bike shop. I've got a lot of rusty spoke nipple to deal with. So you can see the ones that I've started on here, kind of not looking too bad. There we go. Check those out, they're alright, aren't they? And how they started off was like that. So they were pretty shit. And I've done them twice with the rust remover and cleaned them off. And I'm just gradually getting them down, down and down. But I must say, I've been using a bit of 400 grit paper, and that's how good I've gotten with that. I've just bought some wire wool. So I'm going to have a little go at them with the wire wool, and we'll have a little look how that came along. But that's not too bad. I was going to respray the rim. I was going to keep it gold, but it's cleaned up so well. I might just, if I can get a few of those worst little lumps and bumps looking a bit better, I might not spray it. But I will, I think, clear coat the nipples, because they are going to just rot like mad. Because it's piss wet for all the time here. Never stops raining. There we go. I suppose there must be better weather in Italy. Anyway, here we go. So that bugger's probably cooled down near enough by now. It's not bad, it's like hand warm. So I figure the colder it is, the smaller it is, isn't it? So, still getting a bit of steam off it. Don't expect the camera's picking that up, is it? Steam off there. Put it off the last little bit. Workshop's in an absolute shithole, and it always looks like that anyway, because I've got 10,000 things going on at the same time. Well, quite a few. And there we go. But it's in a shithole because I'm halfway through rebuilding the other half of the workshop. So I've got everything in one at the moment, so it's a bit piled up. And you can still see a bit of steam coming off there. So that's that. Let's have a look at the yokes. Yokes there, bottom yokes there. That got a new set of bearings, and the reason that I decided to stick with the yoke for this was the spindle diameter. The spindle diameter of the Aprilia. Oh, that's not focused now. Oh, annoying. It might even be condensation. There we go. So the spindle diameter of the Aprilia and the headstock diameter is a match. Works well. There is a set of bearings. I had to specially order them, but they still were not that expensive. But over here I've got a really nice set of yokes off of a dirt bike, which were only a couple of years old when I took them off, so they're a little bit dirty, but they're clean. And that's a KTM EXC spindle, because I didn't use the spindle. I swapped it out for a KTM one on another bike. And so I've got that pet, and I've got that, and I've got a nice set of forks to go with those as well. But unfortunately, the spindle size for those doesn't fit that bloody headstock. And that one did. So we went with the Marzocchi forks, had to get them re-chromed. Even getting them re-chromed, I think now I've got the fork seals and all the rest of the bollocks to do as well, which is a pain in the arse, and another few quid on top. So I think the whole thing is probably going to cost me about 250 quid, I reckon. By the time I get the bike shop doing their bit, it might even be a little bit more. Changing the sliders. There we go. So that's that. So I might regret doing that, but 250 quid doesn't go very far, does it? And so if I was going to get a spindle made for those ones over there, I'd still have to buy a set of headstock bearings as well, because I would. So I don't have a set of headstock bearings for the frame. Yeah, so there we go. So that was the better way to go, I think, but I might regret it. And I decided to use the wheels because I quite like the gold thing. I'm going to go with a bit of black and gold, I think, to bling it up. And there we are. Let's have a little look how it's looking. Pretty sad at the moment. Look, poor old Chopper. She's on the floor now because I put the wheels on and things, so have a little look. My God's too close to that wheel size, and so I am going to put a tyre on that rim, which means I've got to do the rim, and then I can fit a nice tyre to it, and then I can fit the mudguard to the tyre, and then I can decide what to do about the seat. Because I like the look of this, it needs reupholstering, but I think if I'm I might try and spring the whole seat. So I've not seen anyone do that, and it probably is because it's difficult or it's shit, one or the other, but I'm going to try anyway. And I need a tank. I don't have a tank yet. I was thinking of a Mustang, just an old-fashioned 90s Mustang tank, nothing stretched or clever. But we'll see anyway. There we go. Okay, there she is. There's my rig, the spacer, a bit of alley to protect the top of the fort, the stanchion itself, the hole. Remember the hole thing detail being on the side. Not being on the front, so there's the hole, and lined it up with a notch. Put a bit of tape for the depth. It's 54 millimeters, point not very much, and there we go. And the black, whatever they painted him with, is amazing because I've had the blowtorch on that twice now, and it's still quite shiny. Good black paint. Funny stuff, really. There you go, amazing. So if you ever want to nobble a Pegaso, take a blowtorch, and you can pull his front end off. No, that was a lot harder to get off because it heated the whole lot up. That's why it was much easier to get on. So, okay. Right, I shall give you an update as soon as I make some more progress. Cheers, bye.